Good day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Solani. Today, I want to talk about budgeting and also the use of monthly transactional account statements in the process of budgeting. Now, budgeting is a very important process for your journey to financial freedom because budgeting is setting up of plans to channel your funds. So budgeting is, simply put, is a statement of showing your credits versus your debits. Is a statement of showing your income versus your expenses. Now, your income is what you get at the end of the month or whenever you get your income as a result of your contribution to the economy, your production. Then your expenses are all the things that you spend your money on. Now, your expenses can be broken down into two parts, which is the fixed part. These are expenses that you can anticipate on a month-to-month basis, and you can estimate the value of each expense. So these expenses are fixed expenses. Then you also have variable expenses. These are expenses which you may or may not incur, and when you do incur them, there may be varying amounts each month. So your fixed and variable expenses form a total of your expenses. We all know, and I think by now we're all convinced, that budgeting is important. Budgeting is important because it is a plan that you put in place. Your intentions are always to stick to the plan. And the problem comes in for many people when they don't stick to the plan and then they think that budgeting doesn't work. Budgeting works, but budgeting in itself is only a plan. Now comes in financial statements or transactional account statements. These are your bank account statements. Now, having a regular look at these bank account statements on a monthly basis and used together with your monthly budget will tell you a story about what you're doing wrong in your budget. If you go to your monthly bank account statements and you see what you are actually spending money on, you go to your budget and check what you actually planned to spend your money on. It's really not an opportunity for you to throw your hands in the air and give up on budgeting altogether, but it is an opportunity for you to reflect and say, this is what my plan is and this is what my reality is. Can I get a middle ground? So instead of spending so much money on home delivery services, online purchases and that kind of thing, why don't you come to an agreement with yourself to maybe cut that expenditure by 25%, ultimately by 50%, and so on and so forth, and start channeling it to the things that you wanted to channel it to. So I want to encourage each and every one of you to start looking at your budgets. If you don't have a budget, put one in place. This is your plan. And then at the end of each month, look at your bank account statement to see what you actually spent on. And then, use a psychological trade-off and slowly channel the funds to where you want the funds to go. In my specific case, I wanted to have more money in my savings account, and I wanted more money in my savings account because having a savings account and having an emergency fund account is really empowering. It makes you more relaxed, it makes you less anxious about your financial expenses. So when I looked at my actual account expenditure, I saw that I was spending more money on Takealot, more money on Mr. D, and more money, and these, I was buying things that I really wanted but not necessarily things that I really needed, and there's really nothing wrong with that, but it was not what I had planned to do. Financial freedom and financial success will depend ultimately on, following through with your plan and to reach your financial goals, and not spontaneous spur of the moment purchases, which in the virtual world these days is largely driven by social media, wanting to look a certain way, wanting to appear a certain way, and so on and so forth, and all the pressure that is out there. So I hope this video helps. I hope it has empowered you to not give up on budgeting. Just have more and more patience with yourself, and work continuously to be able to stick to your plans. Thank you.